Today I'm going to be showing you how to create or how to color in your value scale using oil pastels in the Drawing Center. So you want to start out by getting a white, a black, and then also choose one hue. So I chose blue here. A hue is the pure color right off the color wheel. So in our value scale, we want it to kind of look like this when we're done. That's my painting example. We want to make sure that we have a high range of value in our value scale. We're going to be mixing tints and also shades to create a lot of contrast between each of these steps. So you also want to make sure that you have some paper towels to clean your oil pastels while you're using it. And you can either choose to blend using your finger or a blending tool. And I'll show you how to use both. You pick the one that works best for you. So I have at least 7 steps between my in my value scale. Actually, I have 9. It's okay to have a little more than 7. Try not to have more than 9 because it'll take you 100 years to do. You also won't have as much contrast between your steps. So the first thing I'm going to actually do is color my first step pure white. Now, before you start doing this, just check your oil pastel to make sure that it's clean, because if someone else used it and didn't wipe it off, it could have specks of other color on it, and that will mess up your first value. Now, in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to do a small area, but here I would keep going all the way around. I just don't want you to have to watch a video that's too long. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get my blue, or my pure hue, and as light as I possibly can, I'm going to shade this with my blue. So nice and light in there. Then I'm going to take my white and I'm going to color on top of it, and I'm coloring in kind of a circular motion. So this is going to create my first tint, and then I want to blend those together. So that's my first tint. Now for my second one, I'm going to be shading just a tiny, tiny bit darker. Now, one tip I'll give you with oil pastels, you always want to make sure that you start lighter than you think you're going to need to be, because it's hard to take the color away. You can always add more color or more value, but it's very difficult to take it away. I'm going to show you how to blend this using the blender as well. Okay, so it just works like this. It's kind of like erasing with a pencil. So those are my kind of first 2 steps in there. Now I notice in some areas there's not as much contrast, so if that happens, I can just lightly go back in and just blend on there. Alrighty, for my next step, same thing, a little bit darker. Now you'll notice that I'm working light to dark. That's not just because I'm using a value scale. Anytime, so I'm going to actually blend this a little bit before I put the white on top this time, so I get a more even coat. If that works better for you, then go ahead and do that. You want to make sure that you always work, I'm actually going to go a little bit darker on top of here, that you always work light to dark with oil pastels. If you start out with black with your oil pastels, you're going to wind up with black smudges and fingerprints all over the paper. So always start out with your lightest values, your whites, your yellows, things like that first, and then you can get a little bit darker gradually as you go out, but always use blacks and browns last. So in this step, I'm coloring a little bit harder, so kind of medium pressure, and then I'm going to do some white on top. Now with this, I'm going to wind up going back with another coat of blue on top. So this is going to be my last tint here, my last hue plus white or blue plus white. blend that a little bit with my finger. Now I'm going to be doing my pure hue. So I have my oil pastel and it has some white on it. Take your paper towel and just twist it to wipe all the white off because you want this to be pure blue. And I'm going to color pretty evenly and hard in here, but then I'm also going to blend a little bit with my finger. You don't want to color lightly and then blend because that's also going to make kind of a light value of the blue. So you want to have enough difference and contrast between those steps. Now for I'm going to start doing my shades. So black plus blue, so I'm going to do a really nice light with black and color hard on top, and I can blend a little bit there. Now for my last value, I'll actually show you up here. I'm going to color pretty hard, or my second to last value, I'm going to color pretty hard with the black. Okay, kind of medium pressure. There I colored light, now it's medium pressure. Color with blue on top, and then blend. And then my last value is going to be pure black. Okay, just nice and hard with the pure black. And remember, all of these values are going to go all the way around. When you're done, please make sure that you wipe any excess black off of your colored oil pastel so the next person gets a clean one. Best of luck.